Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another SOB production. Let's see, we have as our co-host, we have Gil from Camp Patton Family Compound and Uncle Al the Crazy Spook, or as we all better and love him, Dibo Frog 79. We have Homesteading in Idaho. We have some crazy compound guy in there too. Got Michael 58. Al's in there. Looks like somebody ran away already. Oh well. Anywho, tonight we're going to discuss a topic that's been brought up many times in the past, but it always bears repeating because people tend to forget certain key aspects of it. And the key aspect they forget is the pathogens in the water. So, with that being said, I've got a short little presentation. Gil's got a few things he wants to bring up. Then we'll open it up to side chat. And hopefully we can get a few more people up in here. But so you want to voice anything, Al or Gil, before we get started while we wait for a few more people to slide in here?
I had some sad news. Bill Milton succumbed to leukemia this morning, and right now only a few people. Andy at Renegade just put out a video about an hour ago. He passed away. We don't know if it was a stroke or natural causes yet because it's too early. He passed this morning.
Oh, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, Steve. Yeah, one thing to remember when even you're searching the internet for information, and if you come across somebody, people putting out articles and stuff, and they don't give their qualifications, you might be a little leery of it, because I came across one. I want to get somebody to be talking about one. You want to talk about somebody working at the steer farm shoveling it. This guy's shoveling it out, and it's some misinformation that can get a lot of people hurt.
All right, well, we're up to 5. So I might as well go ahead and get started. Those who joined us late can just run back through and rewatch it, or at least what they miss. So how, where, and what you need to treat water. So let's go to point number 2. You think that water's safe? Doesn't look very safe to me. The bugs on that one fish look like they're happy, but I don't think I would be trying to drink that. And like I said right here, it's nasty stuff left from this kind of contamination in water, just because where you're standing doesn't look that bad, especially in a lake or a large, slowly moving stream. This could be sitting in a little estuary, upriver, and all that gunk is coming right down to you. So there are organisms in the water, especially unclean water. And you might not think none of it. You go to brush your teeth, cleaning your veggies that you pulled out your garden, cooking, cleaning. I'm not going to repeat this part, but I thought it was, there are people that do that. Hello, Christy. And we'll just leave the rest of that left unsaid. And here are just some of the things. And sorry, my PowerPoint kind of got messed up. But, you've got to worry about E. coli, Salmonella, Giardia, Cryptosporidium. My words are difficult. Toxoplasma gondii. Not the guy from India. I can't read it. My glasses are messed up. Ambicillites. And here, the list goes on and on and on. And there's probably like 20 other nice little teeny bugs that would love to invade your body and make you sicker than sick, which is the reason why you have to boil it. So how do we make water safe to drink? The easiest way is boiling. Studies have shown that water filters, if they're properly and correctly used and maintained, vary a great deal. You got Life Straws, you got Sawyers, you've got military from every branch of every military in the world that uses something different. but by far and away, the best way to do it is boiling. Provided, of course, you've made sure your kit has a way to create a fire. How long should it be boiled for? Here is a topic that is widely discussed, and it's just about as popular as the whole Ford versus Chevy discussion.
Don't forget Dodge.
Well, Dodge doesn't even make the cut. Sorry. Anyway, you've got one camp that says 150 degrees, and that's good enough, or 155. And you've got where I stand right here at the 185-ish for a few minutes. Once it hits 185, if you go from 185 to 260 boiling, that 2 minutes it usually takes, or a minute and a half, depending on how hot your fire is usually enough to kill it. Once you get past 185 for a minute and a half or so, you're relatively safe. Of course, that depends on the type of water you're getting in the first place. If it's brown, put it down. Go find something else. If it's real bad, you probably can't strain it clean enough to drink it. Even after straining and boiling, it's probably still going to look pretty nasty. But they say 185. You got the CDC. What was it, Gil? 2 something?
All right. The CDC.
Yeah, well,
was
that's like Gil's
saying,
stuff.
Yeah, the CDC was saying, if it's cloudy, do all of the filter and stuff. You can't let it settle. Actually, they say or allow it to settle. Personally and professionally, I would say you allow it to settle, and then you strain off the top water through a filter or clean cloth to get any more out of it. And it says bring it to a rolling boil. It says bring the clear water to a rolling boil for 1 minute. At elevations above 6,500, boil for 3 minutes. And to me, for all my 40, 50 years of doing this, I stick with the old standby, 5 minutes.
So if you were to take, and theoretically this is just personal experience, if you take your water, once it hits 185 and time it from there, depending on, of course, the fire you've got underneath it, to the time it hits a rolling boil, and you go another minute and a half past that, you'll have hit your 5 minute mark.
Depending on the volume you're boiling too.
Correct.
Yeah, because I have the like those little jet boils and stuff. 30 seconds, you can bring 2 cups of water to a boil.
Right. Hey, drops. But, here's a little kicker. Oops, I can't highlight it. Anywho, most of us don't carry a thermometer in our backpacks. So the whole 5 minute thing, once it rolls, you can just look at your watch and go for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. It's not a deal breaker. But I mean, if you have a thermometer, you can test it. But most of us aren't carrying one. So you
can get the little digital thermometer at Harbor Freight for how much, Gil?
Oh, actually, they got 3 different priced ones there. The cheaper one
for $20.
And the cheap one at Harbor Freight was $15 the last time I saw it.
Yeah, but you know what?
I ain't gonna trust it.
Well, the space that takes up, I can put something else in my backpack that's a lot more necessary.
Yeah.
So, but there is that option. You can get into little infrared thermometers for a little or nothing nowadays, especially since the Red Dragons come out. All kinds of companies are making them, and they've gotten dirt cheap for good ones.
Yeah.
All right. So next thing you can do, some of the items are store-bought tools. And we're going to call them tools because just like everything else, they have to be maintained and properly cared for in order for them to work correctly.
Did you want to put yours back up?
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Streamer troubles, right? Anywho, store-bought tools you can use. You got straws, you got inline, you got pumps, bottle, gravity, and here's a smattering of various different ones you can use. And here is some other ways to try, which are more natural, organic type. You've got the good old-fashioned in-ground pit. This one is effective, especially in early spring and late fall when you've got a lot of condensation that forms in the ground every day. This will net you a fair bit of water really quickly. Here's another type of doing it. They are called solar stills. Another type is do-it-yourself, similar to the life straws and stuff like that. They have a filtered system. You start off with pour your water in the top. You've got a gravel that removes your first layer of particulates. You've got a coarse sand that gets rid of more of it. Your charcoal starts getting rid of the bacteria and protozoas, although it doesn't get rid of everything. So even if you use this, you still have to boil the water. This isn't, the end all to be all. You still have to boil it. You've got your homemade buckets, a couple filters, and you can filter it this way. They say you don't have to boil your water after this. But you know what? If it comes down to the point where I have to worry about the water I'm drinking, I'm going to pull it out of my tributary or whatever I'm getting it from. I'm going to filter it if needed. Then I'm going to boil it. Then I'm going to put it through here and let it filter it. I'd rather take 3 steps rather than have somebody dig 6 feet. That's just my personal opinion.
It's like that old
anybody else to subscribe to that opinion.
It's like that old saying: an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Yeah, I'll take that ounce of prevention so nobody has to move that pound of dirt.
Right. I have to throw in one thing because I'm a desert rat. You have to have moisture in the dirt. If you're in my area in August, all you're doing is making a big hole unless you got something that has moisture.
Yeah.
Because the ground's so hard and dry in my area, you're not going to get a drop of water no matter how many solar stills you dig out there. You have to have moisture. Plants, the wet soil, your pee, dirty water, it has to have moisture. Because I seen one guy dig a 6-foot solar cell and he says, I didn't get any water. It's August and 115 out here. You don't get any water.
Audra, I have a picture of that coming up shortly. Excuse me. Here's another way to do it. I probably should have made that picture its own slide, but I can go dig it up later if anybody else wants a bigger picture of this one. And we're going to close that out. Hey, wait a minute. Sorry, it sounds like there was an echo in there. Anywho, hold on. If I can get my computer to.
Yes, Audra, I seen that one where they hang plastic bags over tree branches. Make sure it's not a toxic tree.
Or a bush, like an oleander bush.
Yeah. Or my favorite, we put a plastic bag on poison oak.
Waiting for my computer to decide to be polite and work.
Ooh, Kaylin's making turkey chili.
Oh, that's lovely.
For whatever purpose, my computer decided it doesn't want to pull it up. So I'll have to go search for that later. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring Gil in here.
Let's go back to the
Gil
other
run
one first. Okay, so just in case anybody here has forgotten, I just retired a couple of years ago from Homeland Security as the Emergency Management Coordinator. And I've been doing emergency preparedness since 1971, wilderness survival since 75, and all sorts of fun stuff. And I've forgotten more stuff than most people all ever learn. But that said, going over some of the things that are out there, I got PO'd at some of the stuff I was finding getting ready for this today. And I'm going to go through some things here really quick here. The good, the bad, and the ugly here really quick here. EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. Hey, Kathy. Came in. They're pulling from the WHO, the World Health Organization. And I don't trust them anyways. But anyways, they had some points in here. If water is cloudy, let it settle. Then filter it through a clean cloth, paper boil, water towel, whatever the heck that is, or coffee filter. Coffee filters are pretty good. Bring it to a rolling boil for at least 1 minute. At altitudes above 5,000 feet, boil for 3 minutes. All right, so and it goes through the bleach, talks about the bleach solutions and stuff. Here's a point where we're going to deviate from what they say. They say if the bleach is, if it's the amount of 6% bleach added to a gallon of water is 8 drops. If it's 8.25% bleach, 6 drops. Clorox, which makes 8.25% bleach, says no, it is going to be 8 drops. And if it's cloudy water, do 16 drops. This is from the bleach manufacturer. So, and this is what it's been set for since 1970. All right. I don't know why they're dropping it down, but you know, anywho's, and it's got other.
Kathy, so I can keep up with you guys. Sometimes you guys type too fast. I'm old.
And there's, you know, that talks about all the different other disinfectant methods as well. Then going to the CDC, their first thing is boil, which is the most, you know, advantageous. Then it goes to disinfectants. The main difference between CDC and EPA is that EPA says above 5,000 feet, whereas CDC says above 6,500 feet to do it for 3 minutes. Now, I have a thing coming up here in a second, and I'm going to go old school on you guys. And it goes through all the disinfectants as well. All right, so now we're going to go old school. This is How to Know by Home and Garden. One of the few ones that actually put this information out there because they're pulling from their old stuff. This is old school information, which is still true today, still being advocated today by multiple health organizations other than the WHO and the CDC. Going through, it talks about hot water, boiling, how you got to be careful of boiling water because it can cause burns and stuff, blah, 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 blah. But then it gets down in here. Using moist heat is an excellent method of sterilization, which is why boiling baby bottles for 5 minutes is the recommended practice to sterilize them. If it's good for 5, if it froze. If it takes 5 minutes for multiple organizations to acknowledge for baby bottles to be safe, that's what I'm going to do my water at, and that's what I've always done my water at. All right, so I'm farther beyond Dave. I want to be super safe. All right, I'm getting old. I ain't taking no risk. So. And it comes to my grandkids, yeah, it's going to be 6-7 minutes. What I'm going to make sure that any water for them is going to be absolutely safe.
All right. We got a question here from Audra. We'll pull that up real quick.
Iodine is a topic of walking on eggshells. Some people, when you do the water with the iodine, can affect them because of their
thyroid,
their bodies, their body things wrong with their body stuff. Right? You
right, it's the thyroid gland.
Yeah, thyroid. Yeah. So there are things you have to be careful with iodine. They back when they were using iodine in certain wars, they had problems, and so iodine, in my opinion, is probably one of the last
it's an emergency backup to a backup that you forgot about your backup in the second place because the first place you forgot to.
Yeah.
Right. Let me explain the iodine thing. It was sodium you know what I'm talking about, sodium hydrate. They used that in World War II, but when they went to the South Pacific and when they hit New Guinea, it did not work. And later in Vietnam, did not work. So they switched to iodine tablets to kill the liver fluke, cholera, Eastern cholera, not West Coast cholera. We're talking Far East cholera, where your hair falls out and your bald headed starts at your eyebrows. You have to be really careful. That's why they issue out iodine tablets in the Pacific.
Yeah, iodine makes a comeback about every 15 years. It surges back into popularity because people forget about all the bad stuff about it. It's drops, water purification tablets. I have some made by Culligan, the water filter experts. So, but I have those as my backup to my backup.
Even after using water purification tablets, following the directions implicitly, I'm still going to boil my water before I let it cool off and I drink it, because drinking hot water, straight hot water, is bad for you.
Okay. Now, there is a guy out there. I'm not going to name his name, or I'm not going to tell you too much about what the channel here is.
Just look at the URL at the top of the page. You'll be able to figure it out.
He says he gives absolutely no information about what makes him an expert. None. Cyril, zip.
Excellent. And welcome.
And so it basically says, first of all, you may have heard self-proclaimed experts on the internet say that water must be boiled for a minimum time of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or even 20 minutes to ensure all waterborne pathogens have been killed. This minimum boiling time is a myth. Bullshit. Sorry. BS. And he goes on to explain why, and he goes like the World Health Organization says the water temperature of 158 will kill 99.9% of bacteria. Again, BS. It's got to be higher than that to get even close to 99%.
Not that we have to worry about this certain little organism here in the U.S. or, matter of fact, in most of North America, but in South America and South Africa, there's this cute little bug. It likes to crawl up the male urethra, and if you don't know what that is, go look it up. And you're not going to be happy camper, and then eventually they're going to be digging a 6-foot hole.
Yeah,
they ain't not you.
And it lives in water.
And it doesn't die until over 250 degrees. Okay, and water boils at what, 260?
Yep, 212.
Okay, well, so obviously you need to boil water for a minute to kill that one. Mm-hmm. So what he's saying right there, complete and utter bullpucky.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, we usually don't have to worry about. There has been cases of it down Florida and some of the most southern states, but they're rare.
Yeah.
It's more common down in South America and in South Africa.
All right. And so I'm not going to go on with the rest of the manure he's peddling. I mean, the guy can make money selling manure,
Hey, girl.
But here's the interesting thing. If anybody has ACR or OCR, that is Mr. Homesteading in Idaho, if I remember right. X-Man Prime, hi. All right, so
Carol.
How many of you seen the National Geographic channel and some of the other ones where they talk about the volcanic vents down in the bottom of the ocean?
Nice
and yeah, nice and toasty warm. And there's still stuff thriving down there. Okay, I'm going to pull this off now before you, in case no one tries to tag that.
I'm going to touch on a point that was just made. Hey, Drops. It's kind of like Steve over at Corsair said yesterday morning. Yeah, yesterday morning. Well, noon my time. People don't like coming to channels that tell the truth. But if you sit there and you spread fear, you'll get 1 million followers. You'll get videos that go viral because you're screaming fear porn. Sorry, that's not what we do here. We're not going to do that. You get the truth and nothing but the truth. So help us God. And if you don't like the truth, there's a button right over there that says next page.
Yeah.
Or back a page. Or click your browser bar and go to another page. Not asking you to stay here if you don't agree with what we're saying. That's cool. Go do your own research. And if you come up with something different, email it to me. We'll discuss it. And if I find what I've said is wrong, I'll be the first one to make a special broadcast to admit I was wrong on something.
Yeah. What's interesting is that bacteria, even on the surface, not down at the volcanic vents, is changing. They have found bacteria and stuff that lives in the Antarctic, in that sub-zero temperatures. They have found stuff living near volcanic vents and stuff. that are well above 200 degrees, and this bacteria is thriving. So to say that, 158 degrees and for 1 minute and you're good, if you want to, you might as well just go ahead and take a pew that has 6 holes in it, put one seed in there, spin it, and put it again, and you know what I'm talking about.
Do the whole Russian taco dance. There we go.
Yeah.
Russian taco dance.
And so, because you're taking a chance on it.
Right.
Now, one of the things all these other ones talked about, and there was one, which if I find it real quick here. All right. Basically, they all said disinfectants kill viruses, bacteria, protozoa, anazoa, all that other fun stuff. It doesn't do anything about contaminants. Boiling doesn't do anything about contaminants. It takes a filtration system to do anything about contaminants. And that could be anything from someone dumped a barrel of diesel fuel by accident and it leaked into the storm drain and got into the river behind Dave. It could be a boat, a power boat out there that has a fuel leak on it, and the water behind me now has no, I guess I just lost
and everything else in it.
Yeah, exactly. The benzene. That's the word I was looking for. Benzene in it now. Boiling and stuff. Yeah. And Caitlin has the other point right there. You can't boil metals away, heavy metals and stuff.
That's my area because I live in the desert and we have mining. So I tell people, look around your water hole or your creek or your stream. It might be babbling blue and look pure and everything. But listen, do you hear any wildlife? Is there plants growing around it? If you don't see anything like that, I'd be really nervous to even go near the water because we got several creeks here that has copper, uranium, zinc, arsenic. Oh, the arsenic streams are lovely this year. There's nothing growing out there. They're all dead.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful where your location's at.
No problem, Christy. Well, say a prayer.
Yeah. And I froze again. So when you're getting your water from a wild source, check with one of the things that's you always have with you, your nose. If something smells weird, be careful. You can buy the expensive kits that you have the little papers. You stick it in there. It's like, oh, it's turning this color. It's got this. Wait a minute, now it's turning that color. It's got that chemical in it. They do have the chemical test strips to see if there are contaminants in the water.
Now, 25, 30 years ago, those test strips were uber expensive. Guess what? They're stupid cheap now. You can buy a full kit with like 150, 200 test strips in it, which is more than enough to last you a minute for like about $20.
Right.
Now, when I used to work for, can't think of the name of it now. Connecticut is a water filter treatment system. It's self-sustaining. It's not electric powered. I had to learn how to use those test strips. That was back in 1983. Okay. Or 85, one of the two. It's been too long. I don't remember. But back then, a test kit with 200 strips, and it was like $150 because it was relatively new and not generally used for the common public. Now it's so easy. No problem, Lori. Did you get my PM earlier? Because if you put out a video, I didn't get no message on it.
All right, just saying hi to Lori and Howie.
Did you see Courtney came in? She said hi to you.
Hi, Courtney. I see the dead fish. Another indication.
Yeah. Oh, another thing, what was parroted around about 2 years ago, people were putting out soda bottles full of water outside and saying it's a solar method and it would kill all the bacteria. And I'm looking at them like, are you nuts?
Well, you can, in the right type of clear vessel, actually solar boil water. But it ain't fast. It takes a long time. Because it's really not it is the sun, but it's not the sunlight itself. It's the light you cannot see. It's the ultraviolet light that's actually killing anything that's in it.
Right. But I had people use color soda bottles, green
that don't work.
or no.
Got to be clear.
Yeah.
Well,
to answer Lori's question there, Prairie Rider's question, depends on the plastic. Some plastic, yes, will leach into it. Those your disposable water bottles,
the ones that you can go like and they're gone.
Yeah.
Those are junk. Which is why I don't stock or store any of them.
Yeah.
Because any dust that gets laid upon them, let's say you put 10 cases in a closet somewhere and you live in a relatively dusty area and they get covered in dust. Well, there is metal particulates inside that dust, which is why people who work on computers hate people who live in dusty areas to bring the computer in. My computer quit and I can't figure it out. Well, why? Why'd it break? And the technician will look at them, well, let's see, you got 5 layers of dust on here, and you live in this area which has metal particles floating in the air, getting inside that dust, and it caused a short circuit here, and oh, by the way, here, and here. You needed a whole new system. Same thing happens to plastic. You get those same contaminants on that dust getting on that plastic, and over time, it will leach into the water. Now, it's not instantaneous. It's not going to happen in a day or two. But those people who buy 10, 15, 20 cases and shove it in a closet and it sits there for 5 years, I wouldn't trust that water for my life.
No. And That's great water to flush your toilet with.
Exactly. True. Or give to the neighbor if you don't want him to come back.
Right. Courtney, those water in the cardboard containers are either irradiated or chemically treated before they put in the water blocks. I think they're called water blocks.
Some of them, the cardboard is just the outer wrapping, and it's some of them now are beginning to be aligned with Mylar. Some of the older ones had a foil surface on the inside
that was covered in a wax.
That was yeah. So
thanks, Kathy, for coming in.
It's not here on my shelves.
Welcome to Discover Sustainable. If you are new to this channel and you have never seen her channel, please run over and give her a subscribe and watch a video or two. Appreciate it. Same with everybody else that's here. And if we can get Miss Lori to get off her little tuffet and start cooking those muffins.
Yeah, Lori used to make some good videos.
Yeah, she's got a blueberry dish that's enough to make you'll try climbing through your monitor to eat it. I speak from experience.
All right.
And now she's making banana bread.
Oh, she's making banana bread. Kaylin's making turkey chili. And who else is cooking out there? Trying to make us hungry.
I already had my bowl of ice cream for the night. I'm done eating.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife made cream chip beef on toast for us tonight.
I had amaretto cherry cordial ice cream.
That's nice.
Yeah. Nice big solid chunks of cherry.
Oh,
in chocolate.
Going back to one of those homemade filters you showed there, where they had the 5-gallon buckets and stuff, and they went and bought a one of the filters from like a Berkey or one of the other ones. They put it in there. Those are not really good, because to stop the Giardia and the protozoas and stuff, you need a filter that goes down to 1 micron or less. Those ceramic dome filters you can get for the Zen water filters and some of the other ones, if you read the stats on it, It's a maximum size of 1 micron. And sometimes they've been measured down to 0.5 or even 0.2 microns. And so that is a super good thing. You have that, and then you have your charcoal filter after it. So it goes through the first, the dome, then it goes through the charcoal and other filters you get, and that takes care of some of certain chemicals it can take out. But you don't want if you put a whole match to the water, it burns. No, don't drink that water no matter what.
Okay, folks, I have another issue. I have to tell everybody this is important. If you see a rabbit daytime and it's vomiting near the water, it's not rabies. Run away right away, drop everything, and go the other way really quick. Because the West Coast right now, from Washington, Oregon, and California, we have rabbit hemorrhagic fever. That's from Korea. Somehow it got over here, and it's affecting wild and domesticated rabbits. So you do not want to get I can't pronounce it. Hemorrhagic fever.
Yeah.
And it's waterborne too.
Yeah, here in Ohio we have rabid raccoons. Matter of fact, if I remember correctly, it was a couple of years ago. They didn't live that far from Miss Courtney. Did you release them out in the wild, Courtney? Were you raising them? Did you release them? Because I mean, it was up around Akron and Youngstown that the stories were coming from, which is you're kind of neck of the woods, so to speak.
Yeah, Drops. I would be very nervous.
Found this more information here on the one here. Water temperature to sanitize dishes. Question: is there a safe temperature for water that sanitizes dishes? And the answer is, it is unlikely you'll be able to sanitize dishes when hand washing them, because using the water temperatures that your hands can tolerate, because it's too cool. You can basically tolerate water temperatures up to 115 to 120 degrees with your bare hands, but that won't cut it as far as sanitation goes. To sanitize your dishes, do one of the following. After hand washing the dishes, if your dishwasher has a sanitation cycle, run it through the dishwasher just to sanitize. It's a quick cycle in your dishwasher at home. If you're not at home, you can soak dishes for 1 minute in a solution of 1 gallon of water to 1 tablespoon of chlorine bleach. That's more than 16 drops. That's just they soak it in there and take it out. That's similar to what commercial things do. All right, Dave, you had to go and show.
Froze.
Yeah.
Who do you think did that? Whose do you think that is?
Right. Audra brings up a good point. Anyone within 200 miles of any cases of the rabbit disease, stop showing or selling rabbits, because it's really contagious. It will jump from rabbit to human and human back to rabbits.
Yeah.
We're not talking about sex.
Yeah.
So that's Miss Prairie Rider's contribution to this evening's stream.
That's what I thought it was. That's her banana bread with M&Ms on it.
Yummy.
Oh, no, it's never too hot to cut. If you can't cut that, I'll come up there and I'll cut it for you. No, that's nice, warm, fresh bread. It ain't that hot.
Just take a fork and eat it like cake. Mm-hmm. Just start eating.
It's got the M&Ms on top. Just start chowing down.
The other thing besides using, I was talking there about the bleach. So it says for 1 gallon, 1 tablespoon of chlorine bleach. At Scout Camp, we use the 3 sink method in the kitchen. You have the one where you wash everything off. You have the one where you rinse all the soap off and everything else. And then you have the sanitizer one. You put the stuff in there, and then you pull the rack out, and you set it and let it air dry. And that is a chlorine disinfectant solution.
Right. In every restaurant I've ever worked in my life, with the exception of the Awful Waffle, and their sanitizer does it instead of you having to do it.
Yeah.
You have a hot A very hot and a cold sink. Your hot is with your soap because that's usually what helps keep your soap soapy.
I got to
Your very hot
answer.
is for rinsing all that off.
Right.
Your cold water will kill suds. So it actually helps remove the soap scum and everything else that's left from the two sinks before it. Plus, when you add the bleach to it, it helps sanitize it. So every restaurant I've ever worked in has always had 3 sinks.
Yeah.
WD, if you have dogs, I will watch the dogs
Hey, WD.
carefully, because if they get an infected rabbit, they're going to shoot your dogs, because it will transmit from rabbit, dog to you. And you don't want to be going in the hospital getting all those injections in quarantine. It's hemorrhagic fever.
Go ahead, Howie. Type away, my friend. Type away. And if you're new here and haven't been to Food Forest Permaculture, and you're curious about how to maybe grow something, go check him out. He might have a tip or two up his sleeve for you. Hey,
Yeah, you think his garden is something, you gotta see what it looks like inside his house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to learn about Hugo culture, how he can tell you. Interesting fact here going on in the one article here. Steam cleaning kills 99% of germs on surfaces on contact, because steam from a steam cleaning machine isn't 212 degrees. It's 260 degrees or higher. Yeah.
What was Howie's question?
Okay, I'm gonna.
I guess we already answered it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to pop this up here. Hang on a second. I gotta open up the on this computer here as well. I'm gonna put the link to the good article I found. Prepping. There we go. Boom.
And for
There
those
we
who
go.
came in late, I actually did a very special presentation to start this stream off. So when it's over and once it's loaded, go up and watch the first 3 minutes. Appreciate it. Let me know what you think. Or I could actually play it now while you do that.
There we go. Here's the link.
Okay.
This is the one on the Love to Know. And as you go down farther and farther, it's got more fun stuff down here on hot water sanitizing, steam sanitizing, surfaces that should not be steam cleaned, surfaces that can be, all your
WD had that question.
Yeah.
Any recommendations on a steam cleaner?
on a steam cleaner. The only steam cleaner that I ever used was an industrial one that was kerosene fired. That sucker would cut grease off of a dozer almost instantly. In winter. Yeah, what best thing to do is check what they guarantee the temperature output is. If it just says 130 degrees, that's not. I mean, that's hot. That's basically super hot boiling water. But if you want to get 260 or higher, then you're really steaming it.
Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner.
And
There you go, WD.
What's the temperature on that?
I can't read it.
Well, if it's steam, it's going to maintain a certain temperature.
Right.
1,000 watt power rating. 6.6 ounce water. 30 seconds heat up time. See, when I was an assistant maintenance person at an apartment complex back in the late 80s, or no, late 90s, sorry. my boss had something similar to this, and I don't remember if it was a Bissell or something else. But I'll tell you what, in some of them apartments where the people, I don't know how they cook, but they'd live there less than a year, and there's enough grease and oil on the ceiling and the walls to cook more in. This right here, within moments, had that grease running down the wall, and you didn't have to repaint the wall or scrub it or sand it, not like this. This right here did an excellent job of cleaning it. So this right here will kill it on surfaces, because the steam coming out of it is enough to burn you.
Yeah.
So
I don't
if
think
you
it
do get
just
something like this, be very cautious.
right. Texas Rob, I don't think it distills water. It uses distilled water to work well and clean the grease, but it doesn't distill water.
No, it doesn't distill it. Yeah, and Ms. Nina, you would be shocked to know some of the things I've seen in apartments I've had to maintain or turn over. It's kind of disgusting.
JWD, I think it says anywhere from $40 to $36.
But that one there, was $39.
Yeah.
That's why I dropped the link up in there so y'all can go check it out. If you, as you've seen, I added it to my channel list. It is something I do plan on picking up. I didn't realize how cheap they'd gotten. The last time I looked, they were still well over $150 for something that small. Yeah. So now that they're cheaper, I will be picking one up, because you know what? Even if you're only using it to clean your bathroom, so you don't have to stick your hands in nasty stuff. Yeah. Because you've had guests over and they don't know how to aim, or you have kids or grandkids that don't know how to aim. Just cleaning around a toilet bowl with one of those makes that job so much cleaner and a lot safer.
Yeah. I'm just looking to see what the warranty on it is.
It's a Bissell.
Yeah.
It's got a good warranty.
Because I found another one on there that came up with it on the search for it. The McCullough has a 2-year warranty on it.
Well, you know what? I know where Bissell's headquarters is in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, cool.
It's actually just north of the Meyer main warehouse and Meyer corporate offices. So if Bissell, I get a bad Bissell part, I will find a way to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I will drop it off on the doorstep with a very, very nasty note.
Yeah. Yeah, the McCullough one, they both the McCullough and the Bissell have a 6-ounce tank.
And it'll last you a minute.
Yeah, it says 10 minutes on the one here. Yeah. So yeah, there are for small ones. Yeah, these little small ones are. But if you got a big steam cleaning job to do for other stuff, yeah, you might want to Google an industrial one.
There are several other ones there on Amazon that if you just type in steam cleaner, you will find more floor type models.
Yeah.
That have a huge tank.
Yeah.
Yes, Miss Nina, I fully understand that statement.
Yep. Curious to the toilet.
Yeah, I just put the fear of God, my boy. You miss a toilet, I'll beat your butt.
Oh, we're taking it. We've taken it up another level. None of the grandkids at our house are allowed to stand up. They got to sit for all functions. Yeah, because the last one stood on his little stool that he gets up there to sit on. Only he didn't sit; he just stood up and he all over the seat, the back, everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We have about, I think, 9 minutes, Gil.
I need to split and head over and get mine set up. So I'll see you guys over on my channel for what is the hardest part of gardening for you.
And for those that don't know, Camp Pat and Family Compound, all one fabulous word here on the Usual Tube.
See you over there, guys.
9 minutes.
Dave, do you want to close it out?
Yep, here in a minute. So getting back to the original topic at hand, now that we've derailed it with food and toiletries and other things, my recommendation is to get some type of tablet form of water purification. There are several types out there. Don't skimp. Don't go stupid cheap, because you're messing with your own life or that of your family. When it comes to water, You can't go very long without it. And if you're drinking bad water, you ain't going to go nowhere.
Right.
So just the key thing is, if it's something that affects your life very quickly, you need to make sure you take care of it properly. Texas Rob, which link? For the steam cleaner or the Gills channel?
While we're waiting to answer. Also, when you buy the tablets, the disinfectants, be sure it's up to date. You do not want to use something that's 10 or 15 years old or Army surplus. You want to get within 2 years of expiration date. Because I see people that shows me these tablets are okay. I read the date. It's from 1999. Hell no. You want fresh tablets, folks. Because I know a guy who went up in the woods where I live. He put in tablets and he says, I'm fine. We had an air vacuum out of those hills because he couldn't make it down the hills on a horse.
Okay, I've seen one other question. Drops, if you go to Amazon, everybody's new favorite place to shop. I won't shop eBay much anymore. Because I just get stuff faster through Amazon. You can get water purification tests from Amazon, and they're not that expensive. Or at least they weren't the last time I checked, and that was before all this Red Dragon stuff popped off. I haven't checked since then, but
go ahead, Rob. Bob. I mean Dave.
Who? What? Where's Bob?
Sorry,
I don't see
Dave.
no Bob around here.
No, too many live streams. Okay, Dave.
No, go ahead. You were going to say something. Go ahead.
There's also another myth in the Northwest. You could drink the water from any moving stream. Don't you believe it? Because I have people who would go up there, put their hand into the creek, and will start drinking it. And I would slap their hands away. I said, you're not in the Northeast or Northwoods or whatever. You're in California. That creek just came from a cattle ravine, and you're drinking enough parasites to kill a cow. People think it's blue, it's in a mountain, it's wonderful. No,
because people forget about all the crap that they're spraying in our air. And before anybody says a single thing contrary, go read your news. Go read the white papers, not the black papers that the government puts out. The white papers, the stuff that's not redacted. And you'll see that they admit they spray our skies. They do chemtrails. It's called chemical spraying of our atmosphere to control climate change. They're not doing a dang thing, really, except making our lives more miserable.
Right. Mind control dust.
And but all that stuff falls on the top of mountains. So you're getting all these aluminum oxides, and there's just so many things that's in it that's bad for you in the first place. Falls on top of the ice-capped mountains. Well, where's that ice-capped mountain go when it melts? Downriver. Now, if you have a stream that actually goes underground at some point, and there are mountain streams that actually wind up going underground, then come back out a half mile, 2 miles down, down the hill, those are somewhat filtered by Mother Nature. Still got to boil it. Still got to clean it. But okay, it is almost the top of the hour. I'm sure some people would probably like to go get a drink, go visit Mother Nature's little four-walled room with a hole in it.
You mean the bathroom? Don't pee out the bedroom window. I'll catch you later, Dave.
All right, so we'll see everybody over at Gills that can make it. I appreciate y'all being here this evening. Yes. Audra brings up a very valid point. Something like that, yes, Drops. So if I see you over at Gills, great. If not, y'all be safe. God bless. And until next time, this Friday, we'll catch up on the local news or world news. Yeah, let's do world news because the local stuff's kind of. So until then, be safe, y'all. God bless.